Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure to like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, disturbing developments happening in Texas, disturbing developments happening at our southern border. We have this border crisis going on in our country. Joe Biden doing exactly nothing about it, and we know exactly why. It is a power grab. And then we have this map released that shows exactly where the Afghan refugees are being resettled. You look at this map, and it is mainly in one state. By the numbers, the state of Texas, they're resettling 4,481 alone. And this is the first wave. We know we're going to get multiple waves of this. Why are they putting so many in the state of Texas? A good deal as well going to the state of Arizona here. A lot of swing states besides the intake of California, which I mainly suspect has more to do with how many Newsom would like to take in more than anything else. But we have to do a little bit of a deep dive to understand what's really happening in our country right now. Why does this current administration not care? And could this all be a part of a long plot to speed up the bluing of Texas? We're going to get to all of it. But first, I have to tell you guys about my friends over at My Patriot Supply. Guys, let's face it. The future of our country is looking worse and worse each and every day. And those who are observant here have the feeling that something really bad is going to happen soon. And if it does, are you going to be prepared? Do you have enough food, water, and other essentials to get you through tough times? If not, check out My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's #1 preparedness company, and they've served millions of American families. Right now, you can save 25% off their popular 4-week emergency food kit, which will keep you well fed with 4 weeks worth of breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, and snacks, totaling over 2,000 calories a day. This food stays fresh for up to 25 years in proper storage, so it will be there whenever you need it. In fact, you might need it a lot sooner than that, so you don't want to wait. Go to preparewithredeagle.com and claim your 4-week emergency food kit. You'll save 25% if you act right now. That's preparewithredeagle.com. Don't wait. Do it today. So we have this map here already showing the refugee resettlement from the Afghan refugees after Biden completely bungled the pullout from Afghanistan. Now, ordinary Americans are going to have to suffer, and their communities are going to have to suffer and bear the burden of many of these people who are seeking refuge. A lot of these people getting out faster than the American soldiers that were in Afghanistan. So already, that kind of tells you where the priorities of the Biden administration really are. Now, if Biden wasn't so gone mentally, one could suspect that this could just be a plot and the botched pullout was on purpose, mainly because Dems are playing the long game when it comes to getting more people here, more refugees, getting them green cards, making them residents, eventually planning on making them citizens so they can vote. And obviously they will assimilate into the Muslim American community, which votes overwhelmingly Democrat rather than actually voting in their best interest. Obviously, we see that with immigration for the most part. And it is clearly a plot, and that's really all it is. They want to make Texas blue. They want to keep Texas blue in their column. They want to make Arizona blue. They already have pretty much taken Georgia and made it a state that's going to be extremely difficult for Republicans to win back. They already have Virginia. And is this all because of immigration? No, I've talked about many reasons why, but immigration moved even California. We talk about this because I get a lot of people that say, well, I mean, you've talked about Texas Hispanics and how they moved right and Hispanics across the country. That's true. A lot of them are, second generation Hispanics and third generation Hispanics. If you're going to have mass immigration, the people that are going to get here largely are going to get on government assistance and end up voting, 80-20 Dem, and it's not even going to matter the third and fourth generation gains that you make. That's going to be wiped out overnight. And if you look at the numbers, we're expected to take in 1.8 million plus people this year. We have a border crisis. You have a massive problem at our southern border already, and then you're pouring it on. And it's not even just Hispanic immigrants that are coming up through the southern border. If you want to look at this, you could see that a lot of the immigrants actually coming in recently are Haitians. And Donald Trump was right about this when he says there's, Middle Easterners in the caravan. They're coming from all over the world. And he's 100% right, because our southern border is so porous that it doesn't matter. You have people that come over from the Middle East. You have people that come from Africa that come through the southern border. You have people that come from Asia. You have people that come from the Caribbean. And right now you are seeing this. And a lot of people from Central America and come through as well, as we know. In fact, a lot of the migration from Mexico recently hasn't really been that extensive. Which is so true. A lot of the recent arrivals are Central Americans, and you have Haitians coming in, and you have a lot of H-1B workers coming in legally, but coming in from India. That's changing the electorate as well. Look at the 2020 presidential election in Texas. Collin County is still 60% non-Hispanic white. Tarrant County's like 40%, but if you look at the shift, the main shift in Collin County vastly to the left, mainly because of the fact that you have a very high concentration of the so-called merit-based immigration. And it's not really benefiting the American workers in STEM fields, and it's not really benefiting Republicans anymore. In fact, it's hurting Republicans rather than even the lower skilled immigration to an extent. So we see this problem here in Texas. It's getting closer. It's getting closer and closer. If you stop immigration now, you will have assimilated Hispanics that will eventually vote more and more Republican over time, and the state would not flip blue if you're going to continually have mass immigration pouring in at a rate that's unprecedented. Yeah, Texas, and you look over at Arizona, these states are going to more than likely shift away from Republicans for good, and that's a major problem. Because we talk about this, California in particular, and immigration doesn't just change the electorate from adding other groups. Obviously, immigration changes the industry in certain places. Immigration changes the white share of the electorate and how they vote as well. In most instances, many instances, you look at California in the exit polls here, for the recent recall election, whites and Latinos, they voted identically. They voted just 1 point less for Gavin Newsom compared to Latinos. That's how whites voted in this election. And even though California is a state that is plurality Latino now, or very close to that, the white share of the electorate has moved vastly to the left to the point where it doesn't even matter. If whites in California voted how whites in Texas did, Gavin Newsom likely would have been gone. But that's not how this entirely works. So even though Latinos, third generation, may be moving to the right, the types of white voters there are shifted because of the industry shift in California. Because of the fact that there really is no working class left there, or even by a large extent middle class. You just have a lot of suburban elites there, and they're voting vastly to the left of where they were 10 to 15 years ago even, and that kind of shows. So really, nobody voted for this, and that's a takeaway from this. Nobody voted for this. And now you have the FAA that is trying to stop flights from going over this region at the southern border in Del Rio, Texas, for a security reason. Why are they doing that? It seems as if they may be doing that just to prevent people from taking images such as this one and this one. So Biden is weaponizing his bureaucracy against the American people in terms of information. They don't even know what's going on at our southern border, mainly because of this, a 2-week temporary flight restriction. So you're seeing a massive pour-in of people across our southern border. And they want this. They want this. Like I said, it is all about power. And also conservatives are complicit in this as well. Brian Kemp was tweeting about how he wanted so many refugees from Afghanistan to be resettled in Georgia. Why exactly does the right like it? Well, they like it because it lowers wages. 21 out of the 23 studies conducted on this show that immigration does lower wages for low-wage workers. This is true. It may raise wages for high-wage workers, those at the top, which is only going to exacerbate the income inequality that the left whines about relentlessly all the time. But what we do know what it does is that it hurts the working class, especially native-born workers in the state of Georgia and across the entire country, obviously. And I think the aggregate in them shows that for every 10% increase, you will see a 5% decrease in wages for a decent amount of time. This is a problem. The corporations that so many conservative politicians are in bed with, these types of people want mass immigration, even to their own detriment. They're fine with losing. We know they're fine with losing. And like I said, nobody voted for this. And this is clearly the only form of bipartisanship or unity we have. The unity comes from screwing over the average American. It comes from screwing over the American worker for the benefit of the elites. It shows that you are not good enough for them. They want a ruling class to rule over peasants that are easy to control. That does not mean that everybody coming across the southern border is going to be a peasant or is going to be easy to control, but we do know that specifically they want to lower the wages. They want to keep people impoverished for their benefit. It's the same thing when it comes to free trade and globalization. And immigration is a large part of that, and it is a large part of raising the profit margins for their donors. We know this and we understand this. It's turning our country into a soulless shopping mall / amusement park combination where everybody has nothing in common. They just eat at the same McDonald's and have iPhones, and the soul of society is gone. There's no family anymore, which again, that's a little bit beside the point when it comes to immigration, but our culture is dying. Immigration is part of it. It's not the entire reason, obviously, but it is greatly symbolic of that as well, with this transformation that we've had that nobody in the 50s, nobody in the 60s would want to vote for, but the elites have been pushing it, mainly because the far left has done a long march throughout our institutions, and we need to be doing the same thing on the right, including marching through the conservative institutions and getting some authentic conservatives within those institutions, and we know this specifically. But it's all for the benefit of the elite. And honestly, I must ask the question, why? Obviously, there's really no benefit to mass immigration when you talk about this. There's no benefit at all. Oh, the economic benefits. Even, the right-wingers will say that. The neocons will say that. But the truth is that 97% of the benefit that immigration provides to the GDP goes back to the immigrants themselves, and it doesn't even count things like remittances. So obviously it doesn't. But beyond that point, would it even matter? I asked the Cato Institute this. I asked, the Heritage Foundation this, all of the conservative establishment, which is fine with mass immigration. I asked the question, if they're going to be voting 80-20 for our opposition that has horrible economic policies, according to you guys, and they do, it's true for the most part, what difference would it make? Because they're going to destroy the economy anyways with the way that they're voting. These are serious questions that need answers, but they won't answer it because they are complicit, because they don't care. They don't care at all, and they've never cared. And that's why we're in the rut that we're in with this administration and with any other administration. They're the same people that prevented any immigration work getting done in the Trump administration, because they specifically have infiltrated the Trump administration. The swamp runs deep, and there's a lot of swamp creatures around Donald Trump, and I know that he's gotten rid of some of them, but there's a lot of work that's left to be done. But other countries are laughing at us for this. They are. You look at how many refugees we're taking, and how many refugees is China taking in. China's directly, relatively close geographically wise to Afghanistan. I believe it's just 2 countries away. Why doesn't China take any in? That's a real question. Because China's laughing at us, because they understand how to run a country better than us, despite, the rights violations and everything like that. When it comes to China, you could even say that they take better care of their people for the most part than the globalist American empire here at home, which specifically, you look at China, look at what they're doing. They're banning effeminate men on television. But when it comes to America, if you criticize men being effeminate, pretty much within the next 10 years or so, you're going to be put in prison, and they're going to be committing civil rights, human rights violations against you. So that tells us every single thing that we need to know about the state of our country. It is doomed at the moment. It truly is, because we have weak leadership, and we have politicians on the left that know what they're doing, politicians on the right that really don't know what they're doing, or they know what they're doing and they're complicit with the left, and they are uniting together. It's unity, but it's unity when it comes to screwing over the American people. That's all it is. So this is what they're trying to do. They hate you, and they specifically want your ideas and your policies to fail, especially on social issues, because the parties on economic issues, they're both serving the elite in different ways. But what we do know is that they try to specifically drown out your voice because they don't think that you are good enough for them. And that is a large problem that we have right now. And that's why you're seeing this. So it's all for power. The elites use immigration for power, not just illegal, but also legal. But both are a problem right now. And they are speeding up the cycle, trying to drive traditional America to its brink because they don't like you. They want you gone. So that's really where we're at. So stay strong. But just be aware of what's going on right now. And in 2022, vote in the primaries for candidates who want to restrict immigration as much as possible. It's the only way we're going to be able to stop the bleeding as soon as we possibly can. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle out.